Hola, my lovely people! I am driving to school, and I'm going to make a video about my tastes of movies. So, I actually am a film student, former film student. I graduated from a film school, Colorado Film School, actually. I have my degree in associates. My degree in associates. You could tell that film school did great for me. Cinematography. I'm about to run into a car. Really nice car, too. Wow. The moon is really low. It's really cool. But you wouldn't be able to see it, unfortunately. So, yeah, cinematography. And so I've gotten to dive into the movie world. And what was odd is that I was one of the very few people in the film school that actually didn't like watching movies. Oddly enough. Now, actually, I do love watching movies. However, as I've gotten to, watch movies more and more, the more I actually started to dislike them because of kind of the movement that's happening with movies. Movies are very shallow, kind of more made to be a one punch man, one punch, and not really have any longevity in them, and not have like a good substance, good meaning. And so I just kind of found myself not really enjoying movies as much as I used to when I was younger, and I really loved the movies back then and whatnot when I was a kid. But they would all ask me like, "Have you seen Citizen Kane? What about the Great Train Robbery? Oh, you don't know any blah 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 blah." I already forgot all the fancy people's names because I don't really care. But, so they were really wondering, like, you're in film school and you don't know any of this stuff. Or you don't know any of these people, the fancy people. And actually, same thing with music. Like, I don't care. I don't really listen to music either. Now, this is the reason. Well, not really reason. Let me explain a little bit further. So, as I was watching movies, I was thinking to myself, oh, there's just something missing. And I need to put myself into this to make better movies. And when I went into the film school, I quickly realized that I have no idea how to tell stories, no idea how to structure scenes, no idea what a fulcrum of a scene is. How do you reveal characters, realistic dialogue versus corny dialogue, or different styles of this or that, and trying to reveal your story. And so, because I had such a vision of like wanting to create movies that had this certain kind of aspect to them, and I'll explain it later. But then I found out that the aspect, or what I would look for in movies by itself, doesn't actually determine if it's a good or bad movie. Now, I may have a preference of how the movie's underground work is, like the intent of the author, like you might have heard in my music video. I would love to have a music video. But no, the video I had about what I look for in music. Like, that's what I look for in films, and I would think, well, let's like have this great intent and great meaning and great purpose and not shallow bickering between characters, good dramatic issues and not petty. Let's have honor amongst friends and fight against real battles and evils and all these things. And so I would also try to implement these highly abstract and ambiguous thoughts into a very practical medium. Film is very practical. It has to be very obtainable by the people that are watching it. It cannot be abstract. I mean, you can have some abstract pieces, but it's only going to connect to a very few amount of people that would kind of care to see something, your mind in a very practical way. What's odd, though, is when you're trying to make this story as a connecting story with, like, you want them to connect with your characters and care about the situation the character's going through. But if you have it so abstract, you'll never be able to make those things actually happen. And so that was a shock to me to find out that, oh, I really actually suck at this. And so I dove into it and learned and tried to figure out how do I create stories, and that's another topic. Anyway, when I would learn about these movies, we would watch a movie and I'm just like, yuck, this is just awful. But that didn't mean that they didn't use proper like story development and set up some payoffs, and there's just these little tricks that storytellers use to create their story, and I would completely miss it because I was so focused on what the author was determining as true and morally right. Subtly, like very subtly. It could be just like how someone apologizes, but the movie dictates it as a truthful way to apologize, but really the guy is a complete manipulative pervert in the real world. That's how it would be. And so I would have this struggle where I would completely miss all of the aspects of film or just story development and focus more on what I look for in movies. So what I look for in movies. I kind of already said it a little bit, so here's some of the movies that I find that carry that kind of perspective or that kind of weight. So let's say Saving Private Ryan. However, I kind of didn't like the ending, where it was kind of more about did I live a good life, deserving your death for me. I don't know, something about it was you build up and build up and build up and build up, and all in the end it was kind of, it felt a little deflating. But anyway, like throughout the whole movie, where there's like this passion and zeal to stand up for each other and the honor about that, I really appreciate that kind of thing in a movie. So also Saints and Soldiers. It's another World War II movie. Lord of the Rings, absolutely. That would be my top one, and if anyone ever asks me my favorite movies, it will be The Lord of the Rings, and there's just nothing that beats it, in my opinion, only because that's what I value in film. Lord of the Rings just lines out with it, and it's originally because J.R.R. Tolkien and I have very similar values, like in life and things like that, and that comes through in his movies, or in his stories, excuse me, and I just feel that, and I feel that he has a lot of wisdom and deep insight, and he can put that into his stories. And so that's why I kind of feel like movies nowadays highly miss, is that because they're all trying to make a quick buck, they totally miss out on very, very good, like, very human things, wisdoms and things like that. Prince of Egypt, it's a cartoon. Absolutely love that, I guess, cartoon / movie. It's very well done. Gladiator, Braveheart. They're all kind of more classics now. It's kind of weird, because nowadays they just don't carry the same kind of weight anymore. But when I was in film school, I got to learn why they are doing movies the way they are, and it's really because of torrenting. Please stop torrenting, stealing and of movies, and they're trying to figure out a way how to make money, because they're actually losing a lot of money. And so yeah, that's why they kind of aren't exploring in other parts of filmmaking and all of that. So I believe that covers most of it. I look for the moral intent. I just feel the moral intent of the author. I also feel the wisdom the author has. Every movie is kind of like an argument to me, like a moral argument, and the author and the director / writer, if they're the same person, they're expressing what they determine as true and morally good through their films, or even stories. It doesn't even have to be a film. It can be a book. So, and so when I see that their argument is missing valuable pieces, or maybe just flat out a bad structure, and I would have to even say that it's a wrong ideal, the rest of the movie just kind of feels weak to me and kind of irrelevant, and I don't care about it anymore. But that's why it's so difficult for me to enjoy movies and music, because that's what I hear, and I wish I can just hear and watch and see the more surface things, because I feel like I would be able to appreciate things more. And I feel like I have done a little bit better now that I have been shown, like in film school, what's good storytelling versus bad storytelling, even if I don't really agree with how the story is like fundamentally proposed to the audience. Anyway, I'm hitting at 10 minutes. I would love to hear about your opinions. What do you call her? What do you think are great movies out there? What do you personally look for in movies? Because I actually did a post on Facebook where I asked people what do they look for in a good story? What makes them think that this story is good? And every single comment, there was like 30, 40 comments, was a completely different insight. I thought that was amazing, and I just wonder what, like, stories are just impactful and incredible. And everyone in their unique way will bring out things that the author didn't even intend, and it reveals either weaknesses or strengths about their premise. And I just thought that was amazing. So I would love to hear what you call as a good story, a good movie, and how does that maybe correlate with your personality type? Because my personality type and other personality types that I have come across have been very different in their opinions about movies and music and all that. So I would love to hear them. Comment and do what you like. Enjoy the rest of your day and your life and your existence on this good green earth, even though it's like brown right now because it's winter, but whatever. Peace out.